Welcome to Meshkat English House. I'm Emma, and today Jack and I are here to talk about something very close to every learner's heart: how to learn English in the easiest way possible. Many people feel that English is difficult, that it takes too much time, and that they will never be fluent. With the right approach, English can be much simpler and more enjoyable than you think.
That's right, Emma. The idea behind this episode is not to give you a list of quick tips, but to really explore each idea in depth so that you can understand not only what to do, but why it works. English learning is a journey, and many learners get lost because they don't know where to begin or how to continue when things get hard.
One of the biggest mistakes learners make is trying to do too much too quickly. They buy a big grammar book, try to memorize hundreds of words, and after a week, they feel tired and want to give up. If you practice only 10 to 15 minutes every single day, you will learn faster than someone who studies for hours only once in a while. Daily contact with English is like training your brain to see English as part of your life, not just a school subject.
And I think that's an important point, Emma, because when learners hear the word study, they imagine long hours of sitting at a desk. It can be as simple as writing down 3 new words, listening to a short podcast, or reading a small paragraph from a story. Over time, these small steps add up, and suddenly, you realize you can understand more, remember more, and speak more easily. The second chapter is about bringing English into your real life. Many learners keep English trapped inside their notebooks in classrooms. For example, if you're cooking, you can say to yourself, "I'm cutting the vegetables. I'm boiling the water." These small actions train your brain to connect English with your real activities, not just with exams or school.
Yes, and using English in daily life also removes the fear of mistakes. When you write your shopping list in English or talk to yourself in simple sentences, there is no teacher to correct you, and no pressure to be perfect. Instead of waiting for the perfect time to practice English, bring it into your life right now in small, natural ways. Listening is one of the most powerful but also most ignored tools in English learning. Listening is about training your brain to recognize the sounds, rhythm, and flow of the language. Think about babies. They don't learn their first language by reading grammar books. You can do the same with English.
Exactly. And the beauty of listening is that it doesn't feel like heavy study. You can listen to podcasts while walking, songs while traveling, or watch TV shows with subtitles when relaxing at home. Listening doesn't just improve your comprehension, it builds a foundation for speaking and writing too. Speaking is the part that makes many learners nervous. They worry about grammar mistakes, pronunciation, or about people laughing at them. You don't need perfect grammar or a perfect accent to communicate. Even if your sentence is simple, even if it has mistakes, people will still understand you.
That's such a good point, Jack. In fact, one of the easiest ways to practice speaking is simply to talk to yourself. Another way is to find a speaking partner, even online, and agree to practice just a few minutes each day. The important thing is not to hide from speaking.
Yes, and fun is not only about entertainment. It's also about motivation. Don't treat English as a school subject you must suffer through. Treat it as a tool that opens doors to things you already enjoy: songs, movies, books, conversations, travel.
Before we finish, let's give our listeners a practical example of how they can bring these 5 ideas together in real life. Jack, imagine I'm a learner who really wants to improve my English, but I feel busy, tired, and sometimes overwhelmed. I don't know where to start, and honestly, I sometimes feel like maybe English is too difficult for me. How would you guide me step by step using the methods we talked about today?
That's a great question, Emma, and I think it represents how many learners feel. The first thing I would tell you is to stop thinking about big, heavy study sessions. Instead, I'd encourage you to begin with just 10 minutes a day. For example, every morning while drinking tea, you could write down 3 new words, or listen to a short English podcast. That way, you don't need to find big blocks of time. You're simply adding English to your daily routine in a small but powerful way.
That does sound easier. And after I build the habit of 10 minutes, maybe I could also start bringing English into my daily activities. For example, while I'm cooking, I can try to describe what I'm doing. I am washing the rice. I am cutting the tomatoes. While cleaning, I could say, I am sweeping the floor. These sentences are simple, but if I say them regularly, English will stop being just a subject in my notebook and will become part of my life.
Exactly, Emma. And once you're doing that, I would recommend focusing more on listening. You don't have to understand everything, the goal is to let your ears get comfortable with English. You could listen to songs, podcasts, or even TV shows with subtitles. Imagine you listen to 15 minutes of English every day, even while walking or relaxing, you'll begin to notice common words, natural pronunciation, and sentence patterns.
I can see that. But I think many learners, including me, still feel nervous about speaking. That's the step where people often freeze because they're scared of making mistakes. But from what we talked about, I understand now that mistakes are actually part of learning. So if I want to make English easy, I shouldn't wait until I feel ready. I should just begin speaking, even if it's to myself. For example, I can practice by retelling my day in English before bed. Today I went to the market.
Exactly right, Emma. And that leads to the last step, fun. If you only treat English like hard work, it will always feel heavy. But if you connect it to your hobbies and interests, you'll enjoy it. If you love music, sing in English. If you love cooking, watch English recipe videos. If you like movies, enjoy them in English with subtitles. Fun gives you energy, and energy keeps you learning.
I love that. So in this little role play, we've actually shown how all 5 chapters can work together. Start small, use English in daily life, listen regularly, speak without fear, and keep it fun. It shows that anyone, no matter how busy or nervous, can make English simple and enjoyable if they follow these steps.
Today we covered 5 detailed chapters: start small and learn daily, use English in real life, listen more, speak without fear, and make English fun. Each one of these ideas is simple, but if you really practice them, they can completely change the way you learn English.
Exactly. Remember, English does not have to be difficult. With the right approach, it can be easy, enjoyable, and something you look forward to every single day. So keep practicing, keep listening, keep speaking, and most of all, keep enjoying the journey.